it's Robyn Flans, It Matters. And what matters to me today is something pretty interesting. I was watching CNN and critic Goldie Taylor was talking to Don Lemon, and she was happening to mention that she was very, very disturbed by the fact that there was a recent ad by the GOP that said that Obama was just like the captain of that recent horrible ship that was abandoned by the captain who crashed into the rocks. Obama has abandoned his party. And she thought that was so terrible because that likened him to manslaughter. Well, I was wondering to myself, has she ever seen that horrible, horrible ad, that terrible picture of Obama? What would she do if she ever saw the picture with him with the Hitler mustache? Well, I recently saw it at the bank. And I don't know whether you ever saw the little posting I did that when I saw that picture before at the bank. We didn't keep that It Matters up. So I don't know whether you did see that one. It was in one of my earlier It Matters. But I just had another run-in with those guys at the bank. They have this poster of Obama up with this picture of him with this mustache, this little mustache, and he's depicted as Hitler. So I went up to them and asked them to take it down, and of course they wouldn't, and they think I'm nuts, and I explained to them that it's very, very offensive to me because, well, I'm Jewish. It's comparing him to Hitler, and you know, Hitler killed 6 million Jews, and this is the President of the United States, that I definitely support their desire, you know, their rights to free speech. It's certainly okay, their First Amendment rights, but this picture is extremely offensive. So they tell me that, you know, that's their rights to do this, blah, 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 blah. I go into the bank is all upset, they don't want them there. They tell me that their clients are pretty upset by it, and they think it's terrible too. And the bank teller, you know, puts her hand on my hand and says, you know, I feel so bad. I'm not Jewish, but I can only imagine, you know, it's upsetting to me, how upsetting it must be to you. Well, I'm all worked up now, and I think, I got to do something about this. So I go outside, and I go to take the picture down. So would you believe that the man strikes me? He actually strikes my arm. So I said, oh my God, you've hit me. He said, you know, well, you're touching my private property. I said, but you've hit me. So then the other guy standing there says, well, I'm going to call the police. I said, well, I think I should call the police. So the bank manager comes out and says, well, I'm going to call the police. So we go inside, the bank manager calls the police come, and P.S., the police do come. And it turns out that, you know, gee, you know, certs is a breath mint, certs is a candy mint. We're both wrong. Yes, I was admonished. You know, I wasn't allowed to touch his private property. We all know that. I couldn't help myself, and, you know, did the police understand? Yes, they understood. Did they tell me I shouldn't have done it? Yes, I shouldn't have done it. In the meanwhile, they did tell the people they had to leave. They used the reason that they were in the walkway, which they were. They were on public property, true, but they were actually in the walkway, so they had to leave. And they wouldn't be able to come into the parking lot because that was private property and they needed a permit. So they they wouldn't be able to come back. They did take an incident report because he did strike me. And that was that. But the bank was so happy I did that, and they thanked me up one side and down the other, because they said I saved a lot of their customers the grief of being angry for the rest of the day. The bank had called the police 3 times that day already. It was only noon, asking them to remove these people. And the police had not come out. So had I not done what I did, the police wouldn't have come, perhaps, who knows, for hours more. But I thought to myself, this critic on CNN, you know, she was so upset that the GOP had likened Obama to this captain who had abandoned his ship, and 15 people had died. I wondered if she had ever seen this horrific picture of Obama looking like Hitler, where 6 million people died. And that's what matters to me today. Stay tuned.